Alright, I'm back with a couple of videos. Video number one. Not like it matters. If you watch this one, doesn't mean you're going to watch the other one. But anyway, I'm going to start off by telling you, I was somebody when I was younger. I always said, money doesn't motivate me, I think there's a lot of people like that out there, They're not motivated by money. They're more motivated by, either wanting to change the world or, there aren't a lot of us. I mean, most people are probably motivated by money, or at least a large percentage of people are motivated by money anyway. In this world, you get respect for having money automatically. We are mentally programmed through propaganda as part of capitalism to think that having money makes you happy and makes you a valuable person and makes you a winner. But I think there's some of us, people like me, who I never aspired to have a lot of money particularly. I mean, I never dreamed about being rich. I never really wanted. I mean, I never wanted a sports car before. Maybe when I was little, I thought Lamborghinis looked cool and Ferraris looked cool, but it wasn't ever a major ambition in my life to own a car like that. Now that they have for me, my dream car is the Tesla, Model S, the souped up Tesla Model S. Until that car came around, I didn't really care about having a nice car. It'd be nice to have that just because it's environmentally friendly. It's sort of, anyway, as environmentally friendly as a car can be, considering, doesn't at least burn fossil fuels. But even then, it's having a Tesla would be nice, it would be fun, but does it really make a huge difference? This is really all comes back around to what I'm saying. It does make a difference, but in a way, not the way that you'd expect, Basically, I think I could be happy in life if other people didn't value money so much. But it's not even so much about the money. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, it'd be nice to have my own house, sure, but, I can live in a situation where, I don't know, roommates can be a hit and miss type of thing. But the point of this video, anyway, let me just get around to the point of this. If you're like me and money doesn't motivate you to go and get a, if you're not motivated to earn a ton of money, just know that, I think that's honorable that you're not motivated by money. I think it shows that you're not that shallow. But at the same time, what you don't realize is if you're not motivated by money, you lose, if you're motivated by a passion that's not money-based and you can turn that into money, that's great. But if you're like me and you don't have either you don't have a lot of talent or you maybe were indecisive for too long and didn't focus on one thing, you have a hard time being obsessed with getting good enough at one thing to have value in that thing. Or you just don't have any great natural talent for anything, like I don't. Then, it's one thing to say you don't want money, or that it's not a big deal. But what you don't realize is that, when you don't have money, you sort of become, what you end up losing is not so much your money, but your freedom and your time. And there are people who make a lot of money who don't have a lot of freedom or time. Maybe there were people that were, there's a lot of stories of people that got into banking or whatever, or some other thing where they did it for a while and they decided, this life isn't really fulfilling, and they give it up and they go and try to do something that's a little more you know, something that's attempts to be, better for the world, I guess, or gives them more of a sense of purpose. Um, you know, I'm sure there's probably some people like that who, go into, college and then, with a workforce, very money oriented and discover that money isn't everything, that it isn't what they hoped it would be, that having, expensive things is not the answer to life. But the nice thing for those people that started out wanting money and then end up switching is usually they've saved enough money, you know, by being money obsessed that they can afford to make that decision to um, move to something else. And that's the whole point of this video. Is like, if you're not obsessed with money, I appreciate, that's laudable, but you don't, maybe when you're young, you don't realize that if you don't focus on money to at least some extent, then you end up with no freedom. Your life is controlled. You're not respected. Because of the programming of society, people aren't going to respect you if you don't have money. You have no authority over anybody without money. So everyone has authority over you, and it's not like I want authority over people, but I don't want people ordering me around. But that's what happens if you don't have money, is you end up dealing with people ordering you around. You end up being trapped in certain work situations that don't allow you to pursue your dreams, or to you end up in work situations that sort of strain your ability to make ends meet and put a lot of stress on you, make you less motivated. All I'm saying is that lusting after money isn't about, it isn't just about wanting the expensive stuff, the extravagant stuff that rich people want, even trips to vacations to tropical locations, or whatever, things that sort of experience-based stuff. Experience-based stuff. It's really, money is about freedom. Having more money means you have more freedom. You have more options. You know, at least it can mean that, as long as you're not obsessed with money. I think, even if you are obsessed with money, you have more freedom generally, because you're not trapped in any type of situation. You have the ability to take a break or to move to another career or something like that. Because if you make enough money early, then you can afford to experiment more. But if you're like me, you're trapped having to work 40 hours a week in order to have any kind of savings whatsoever. And all I'm saying is that my lack of interest in making a lot of money has really come back to make my life a lot more difficult than I realized it would be. I always thought I'd be able to coast pretty easily somehow when I was younger. I thought, oh well, people can have their money and I'll just find a nice equilibrium and relax. But you can't relax, the way the world is going. You have to have more and more money just to get by. You have to have more and more money to be taken seriously by people. People have become so status conscious. I think it's been programmed into us. I don't think we had a lot of choice in the matter. My generation, I think, started it. You went from the 60s, which was a reaction against all that stuff, and then it got, there was a lot of heavy programming, I think, to drown out the 60s. So you went to 70s disco, and then you went to 80s consumerism, and then you went into 90s. It was like the first generation that was raised on the 80s consumerism, so in some ways they were even more consumers than the 80s generation. And then the 2000s, there's more that now the tech boom happened, so everybody was consuming tech. And now people are just people are so attached to their devices, and I don't know. It's hard to make it and be comfortable in the world today without money. You know, it's you're shunned, and I don't know. Maybe it's just imagined. Maybe it's maybe it's just the propaganda making us feel like we're worthless losers. But all I'm saying is, if you're a person like I was who doesn't value, the the really expensive things in life, make money for other reasons for yourself, because you're gonna want to have the freedom that money brings. And obviously, you can get trapped in a job that makes a lot of money and still hate that. But at the very least, if you got trapped in that job, at least you have the option to go somewhere else and have a cushion to work on that. Because you don't want to get stuck, never going for any money at all like I did, and ending up having to make ends meet until you're, a senior, and having to work till you're old. That sucks. I mean, I'm not trying to say that you should value money or value expensive things, because I still believe that that's stupid. But you have to realize that that sort of being totally ignorant or oblivious to the amount of money you make is not going to lead to a good result in the end. You're going to feel like you're being taken advantage of. You're going to feel like you don't have as much freedom. You're going to feel like people don't respect you. So it's not just about owning the fancy things. No, money brings a lot of other things that it gives you a certain freedoms to choose things, and and in terms of the types of people you meet, what people think of you, your chances with the opposite sex. So I guess this is a hard video for me to make. I hate to tell people, well, you should care about money, when they don't, because I don't think anyone should care about money really. But at least until society collapses, I would just tell people like me, just because you don't like the the extravagant things doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue money to some extent. I mean, I threw away my chance to make any money by trying to be a musician, and I mean, the odds were not good, but I thought I could beat the odds. I thought I was smart, and but it's not about being smart. It's about working hard. Getting where you want has more to do with working hard than it does with being smart. Being smart helps. It's good, especially if you can be smart and work hard. But if you don't have smarts, then you can work pretty hard and still get, somewhere. And you don't have to be the hardest worker in the world, but you've got to work hard enough to set yourself up to make at least enough money to be comfortable. Because if you don't, and you're trapped where I am in entry-level work, um, you know, you're going to curse yourself for not wanting money more when you were younger. I don't know if I should even post this video of me talking about telling people they should want to make money. It's just a horrible thing. I wish we lived in a different world, but a lot of these videos are just about, the real versus the ideal, and unfortunately the real in this situation means don't end up with a minimum wage job, because if you do, you're going to be unhappy with your life. That's what I'm telling you.